There is anger on the left. The big bill signed July 4th by President Trump stops progressive taxation for 3.5 years. That is where the progressives live. If you just want to break it all the way down, stop the trans stuff and all of that other business, and you want to get to the essential progressive point, it is this. You take money away from the achievers, from the wealthy. You take it away. The government takes that money away from them and gives it to people who are not achieving very much. That is the progressive philosophy. When that is impossible to do at the federal level, because of this bill, the progressive movement collapses. They have nowhere to go. Add to that, the Supreme Court saying to the progressives, we are not going to honor any district federal judge stopping presidential orders or congressional legislation. We're not going to allow it. You have to have a jurisdictional basis. It's complicated, but we went over it. So the Supreme Court has stopped that madness. So now where do the progressives go? Can't go into the court system any longer. And in the political system, Donald Trump rules as Republicans control the House and the Senate. So progressives, at least until November 26, are screwed. Okay? This is the only way I can say it. They got nowhere to go. They are furious. And they are acting out. Okay? So it used to be that the left-wing media was powerful enough to ram home what the progressives wanted. Gay marriage, a good example of that. Okay? So when I started at Fox, even Barack Obama was against gay marriage. Nobody wanted gay marriage. All right? They said, no, we can have partnerships, but gay marriage, got to leave it alone because it's a sacrament in many religions. And, well, now we have gay marriage all over the place. And that was largely a media-driven thing. The media shamed people. If you were opposing gay marriage, you were homophobic, you were a terrible person, you got attacked. And the media won that. Left-wing media won it. Not that I care. I never cared about the issue at all. I suggested that for a traditional society, it would be better to have the partnerships, legal partnerships. But am I upset? No, I don't get involved with that kind of stuff. But I do understand how the media got it done. Then you have the left-wing media under Trump falling apart. So CBS News is to pay Trump $16 million for favoring Kamala Harris. That's pretty much it. ABC News has to pay Trump $16 million for defaming him. That's George Stephanopoulos, okay? CNN has collapsed. The audience is gone. It's not coming back. Those are the three big outlets, and NBC is going to collapse too. You wait and see. It will. So now both the progressive left and the media allies are venting hatred against Trump. It's always been bad, but now it's at a level never before seen in this country, except for Abraham Lincoln. All right, so the floods devastate Texas. And it's horrible because so many children were killed. And George Stephanopoulos, the face of ABC News, owned by Disney, comes on the air and basically says that the flood deaths were caused by Trump's cutbacks in some federal agencies. That's what Stephanopoulos says. That is about as irresponsible, and he wasn't alone. Stephanopoulos wasn't alone, but he was the biggest name peddling that. And he didn't wait until after the catastrophe was over. He did it right in the middle of it. I've never seen anything that irresponsible, ever. So last night I went on News Nation, Leland Vedder, and we were talking about the collapse of the progressive left, and here's what I said, go. What angered me in your montage the most was Stephanopoulos. And I think these people need to be called out now. Look, Scott Pelley, CBS 60 Minutes, hates Trump's guts, All right, Stephanopoulos hates his guts. That's why CBS and ABC had to settle for a combined $35 million, because those two men, prominently featured, have now discarded any fairness and are on a jihad to destroy Donald Trump. It's very important for those media companies to acknowledge that. And apparently they can't rein these guys in. Stephanopoulos' question was so hateful, and he had nothing to back it up.
Right.
So why is Disney allowing that? Now, before Leland came on the air at 9 o'clock and interviewed me, NewsNation did an hour reporting on what happened in the floods, brought on a National Weather Service person who had a timeline of the warnings and clearly said, we didn't have any cutbacks. We did everything the same we always do. But the people who were in the woods, they didn't have a lot of them internet access, so they didn't hear it. And apparently nobody above drove down and said, get the hell out of here. That was good reporting, honest reporting that NewsNation did. That's why I'm associated with that network. Okay, that's why I'm on these programs. So anyway, when you get to that level where individual death, tragic death, is blamed on a president of the United States because of ideological hatred, you know you're in a zone that's the twilight zone. In addition, PBS, NPR, Planned Parenthood, no more federal money. And that's right. If you don't believe that NPR and PBS are progressive organizations, then you're lying to yourself. And Planned Parenthood is in business pretty much to promote abortion. Yeah, they do some other things, but they can operate on their own. They don't need a Roman Catholic's money, tax money, to promote abortion that the Roman Catholic thinks is morally reprehensible. You don't do that. It's against our Constitution. So they're gone as far as federal money is concerned. And then the leftist schools. So you saw the University of Pennsylvania knock out all the trans stuff. Harvard's going to lose. I mean, it's already hemorrhaging money. Columbia University doesn't know what to do. Barnard, which is associated with Columbia, they surrendered today. And they're on the run. So every single progressive tenet, because of President Trump, is on the decline, severe decline. Let's go to California. Is there a more troubled state in the union than California? The National Guard had to go in there along with Marines because the governor and the mayor of LA wouldn't protect their own people from violent demonstrators. They would not do it. Does it get worse than that? Did the National Guard go anywhere else? So you can see that the progressive movement is, for the moment, I'm sure they'll make a comeback, a lot of money, a lot of Soros money, and they have no leader. Who's the leader? Chuck Schumer? I guess he's the most powerful Democrat. The man would lose a primary to Ocasio-Cortez if she decides to run against him. Schumer's done, finished. I saw him over the weekend. He looks just shot, okay? And that's the memo. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on X. Look for @Bill O'Reilly.